Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for Below Grade Level. Tell your parents you're going to a sleepover.
Hello and welcome to Below Grade Level, the show where we take the books we read as kids and read them as adults and ruin them. I'm one of your hosts, Jonathan Eaton, and with me as always is Bekah Eaton.
Hi.
And Chris Zaleski.
Hello.
And that's it. No guest today because we are on the second to last episode of reading Francine Pascal's Fearless. And we just wanted to...
We got to get down to business.
We got to get down to business. So the three of us are going to get down to business and crank through what we need to so that we can welcome with open arms our closer, St. John Walker, to come in and usher in the end of Fearless. That sounded coherent.
I was mainly rereading my notes from last time because I hadn't even glanced at them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of weird shit in here.
Well, what a great segue. Bekah, why don't you catch us and the listener up on what happened last time on Fearless?
Sure, half of this will be a surprise to me because I haven't read it yet. But Heather got shot or stabbed. I don't know if we ever got clarification on what actually happened to her.
It was clarification. She got stabbed.
Stabbed? Okay.
Also, I think she
We
did
put a check mark by stabbed.
I honestly don't remember if they did ever clarify what happened. Because to me, I think she got slashed, and it's a game of telephone where you hear a thing, so it's like slashing got upgraded to stabbing and got upgraded to being shot.
I heard she got blown up.
Yeah, I heard they took her foot off.
I heard they turned her into a RoboCop.
We only saw, from what I remember, her briefly in a hospital bed.
In a coma.
That's all.
I know. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stabbed.
I guess I don't think we could. Okay, go ahead.
Well, they were saying shot or stabbed.
Yeah.
I don't know. Knife wound. Heather and Ed used to date. Oh, that was just a note because I hadn't written that down before.
Forgot, yes.
Everyone knows that Gaia didn't warn Heather because Gaia admits it instantly.
Yeah.
To everyone and becomes a pariah.
Zero cool.
She gets questioned by the police. We find out that Gaia's mother was murdered when she was 12.
Okay.
And her mother was Eastern European, and Gaia was embarrassed by her accent.
Oh, I don't remember that at all, but
yes.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I guess that's where the Holocaust history comes in, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
I wrote down EXE Crabble. Don't know if you guys remembered that. Sorry, Chris, what?
I said, I am going to name you Gaia after the Earth. My sweet, beautiful little Gaia.
If her mother is ever in a flashback, you're doing her voice.
My little babushka.
So, yeah. EXE Crabble.
EXE Crabble!
Sam gained a transatlantic accent, which was so perfect for
you.
him. It was insane.
Yes.
I wrote down in quotes, bevy of Heather's men's, which I never looked up what men's was supposed to be.
It means nothing. I
literally nothing? Or
I
does
literally
it just
looked
mean
it
friends?
up. I meant it just means healing. I looked up is there a different meaning than what I know of if you say men's and it's just no, it just means healing stuff, being healed. I don't know.
What the fuck? What does that mean?
I don't know. It's crazy. That's some Christopher Pike
crazy
shit.
Thing to say.
It's a Pascalism.
It's a Pascalism.
Yeah. Okay, so Gaia visits Heather in the hospital and sees Sam in her room and runs away like she is wont to do. Uh-huh. He catches up to her at the elevator, and it just felt like a really long section of the book, but nothing really happened.
Yeah.
There's just a really long time of them both inner monologuing while they caught up to each other, and I think, he kind of confronts her of why did you do that? What the fuck?
Yeah.
But then they tell each other that they hate each other.
Yeah, I remember that.
She called him the boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Marco meets the redhead lady and says he's going to go after Zoloft. I wrote down Zoloft. I forgot what his real name was.
Yes.
But they're going to go attack the old Russian guy in the chess park.
For fun. For funsies.
You think Zolov's secretly her grandpa?
I was just wondering,
Oh.
interesting Eastern European.
Interesting.
But they wanted to get at the younger kid for some reason, and they were gonna get at the younger kid by going after his old man friend.
Yeah, because they're like friends. They're like, well, we'll fuck him up by fucking this old man.
But we still don't know what
It's
the
part
fuck
of the Nazi
their
handbook.
agenda is.
To get at the young kid, you go after the older friend.
Yeah.
Classic.
Two thoughts before we start reading. Pascalism is my religion. And Chris, can you say as Gaia's mom, quote, my little fearless baby?
Oh, my little fearless baby. You're beautiful like minaret on Kremlin.
It's everything I wanted it to be.
I am really good at that accent.
I know.
I think it's in my fucking DNA.
It is. I remember doing a sketch with you one time where I was playing a Russian henchman, and I couldn't do it, and I just kept. All I kept doing was just guttural noises, and I just kept going ooh, ooh, ooh. I couldn't do the voice. You had
It
to
also doesn't help that there's not a script.
but you could do it. You had to I had to tap out and bring you in and be like, nope, he's the Russian. the guy who can do the voice. Anyway, okay. Well, let's find out what happens this time on Fearless. We're starting again with one of these weird little interstitials, these brief flash forwards. The pretty one. Sam was watching the place across the park where Gaia's back had been minutes before. Her back.
Her back, not the rest of her body.
Just her back. I don't know, he said absently. I got distracted, I guess. Whatever that means.
That's not even interesting.
I know,
I feel like she forces a lot of these.
Yeah. All right, this chapter's called Nuts. All caps. Heather was going to be okay! Heather was expected to make a fall recovery. I think that's supposed to be full recovery. Heather was expected to make an autumn recovery. Gaia was so happy, she felt like telling the man behind the sandwich counter at Balducci's. A roast beef? He asked her. Yes, she said. On that, she pointed to an extravagant-looking roll. It was all over school. Man, I really wished that guy was going to talk more. It was all over school today. All anybody was talking about. That and the part Gaia played in the catastrophe. The way the rumor mill was spinning. Gaia expected she would be charged with the slashing herself before the end of the day. And that was, admittedly...
you sounded really full of yourself.
Okay. I was
It's just that the main thing was gun or knife.
I know, yeah. Well, and all they said was stabbing or shooting, but I thought it was a slashing.
Okay.
And I have been proven correct.
Congratulations.
And I was trying not to be a gloat about it, but apparently that came
Did
through.
you hear yourself?
Yeah. But I didn't also want to stop and be like, I was right!
Jonathan
Was right.
Gloating.
Write down Jonathan was right.
And it is
I, for one, am glad she was
unappealing.
slashed.
And that was admittedly part of the reason why it was 11:45 a.m. and Gaia was buying a sandwich rather than listening to her imbecilic math so-called teacher botch an elementary explanation of sine and cosine. All right, Gaia.
Of scene and cuisine.
Wait, that's how they're pronounced, right? Sine and cosine?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
I know that. Jeez.
I don't, because I never learned that shit. What is that, trigonometry?
Oh,
No.
I didn't learn it.
I remember it was just the wavy things. I don't know. I knew how to do it briefly on the graphing calculator.
Yeah.
I just liked it because you could do
Because
little wavy things. Yeah.
Sine. She paid for the $9 sandwich. Damn, in 2000? That's expensive.
Yeah.
She paid for the $9 sandwich and headed down 6th Avenue.
Well, it would be $20 now, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Swinging the green and white bag Zolov would eat... Oh, sorry. There's a period there. Swinging the green and white bag. Zolov would eat like a king today. Oh, she got him a sandwich. That's nice. She imagined his face when she surprised him at the unusual hour. Cutting was a serious offense. Because Nazis do it.
I cut lunch all the time.
I know. I was like, just straight up, just don't go to school sometimes. Doesn't matter.
Especially lunch, no one cares where you are.
You hear that, kids? Don't go to school.
They don't, though.
Don't go to lunch.
Don't go to
Go
lunch.
to a better place for lunch, like Taco Bell, like
Yeah.
I used to do.
Oh, I wish there was a Taco Bell near where I went to high school. Cutting was a serious offense, as she'd been told a few thousand times. Ooh, she pictured the vice principal calling George at work, or God forbid, Ella. She almost skidded to a stop at a payphone at the corner of West 8th. She plunked in her quarter and dialed George's work number. George Niven, please. Niven. George.
She's just gonna tattle on herself.
George Niven, please. Yeah, I guess. George's voice came on a few seconds later. This is George Niven. Hi, George. It's Gaia. How's it going? Just fine, Gaia. Just fine. He sounded surprised and pleased. You sound like you're... He trailed off.
I'm calling from a payphone because I left school early because I wasn't feeling well. I'm sorry to hear that. His voice was filled with such genuine concern she felt a little bad. Did you speak to? It's nothing serious. It's, well, you know, it's that time of the month, and I get these really bad cramps sometimes. The Gaia knew there was no faster way to get a man off the phone than to bring up her period. Right, of course, understood.
Ew.
She'd never heard him talk so fast. Poor George. It was hard enough having a girl in your house, let alone one who arrived fully formed at the age of 17. He's dating a girl.
I think he's
or
married.
married to a girl.
It's an adult man who's
He's
married.
50. I think he understands periods,
Yeah.
but okay.
Did you... I feel like we've talked about this before. Did you ever use a period as an excuse to get out of school or class or...
No.
No. Wow. I feel like every single girl I went to school with did.
I don't think I did.
Okay.
I used a much cooler reason of having work to do for the AV club for the TV
Yes.
show.
You didn't need to fall back
I literally got out of class to go do stuff for the TV show or to like set up the field for a field hockey game.
I just remember like faking being sick because I just didn't want to be in class sometimes, and I would have to be like, I don't feel good, my stomach hurts or whatever, and it was a chore. And then I remember one time talking to my friend Melissa, and she was like, well, I just say I have cramps, but you can't do that.
That's funny. I literally was like, I have to go edit the TV show to get it out on time to the education channel, and then I would just go take a nap under the lamp.
Amazing.
Oh, no, we did that already. So, would you just give them a call and let them know what's up? She asked. George was clearly so traumatized, he didn't argue. Yes, I'll give them a call at the, office there. You, just let Ella know. She'll take care of you. There's, no better sick nurse than Ella. Gaia almost laughed at that one. Ella's skirts were too tight to sit at a bedside, and she probably couldn't distinguish aspirin from arsenic. God help George. 13 people highlighted this next couple sentences. Yes. Love was more than blind. It was deaf and dumb, too. It was catatonic. It was vegetative.
Damn.
Oh, boy. 6th Avenue passed her by in a stimulating buzz. The buses, the baby strollers, the 3-man Peruvian band that played on the corner, the delis overflowing with fruit and flowers, the guy selling dirt-cheap tube socks, underpants, and secondhand books from a card table set up by the curb. Did you know that she's in New York?
New York is the 5th character.
The world was fresher and a lot more spacious when you were supposed to be in school. Kind of like a public pool during Adult Swim. I've never experienced that, but I guess it's very spacious.
I forgot about Adult Swim. Like, as the concept, not the network.
I never even considered what that actually meant.
Adult Swim?
Yeah.
Oh, you had a pool.
I did. I had a backyard pool.
Yeah.
It was above ground. It wasn't that fancy.
But you still, that
I didn't
you
go
didn't
to
have to
a
leave
public
home
pool.
to go to a pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to go to the public pool.
Mm-hmm.
And
was there really just like only grown-up swim?
Yeah,
Kids
it would
get
be.
out?
It would be like, I don't know, like 20, 30 minutes. It would be a period of time, and they would be like,
And they were like, thank God.
yeah, it'd be like, kids out, Adult Swim. Like,
oh, interesting.
actually, like, yell out, like, Adult Swim.
I never fucking knew what Adult Swim meant.
And then we had to get out and watch adults have fun.
Exactly like the old...
Stupid kids.
Exactly
it
like
should
the
be
old...
twice as long as the kids get to swim. Now that I'm an adult.
Like the old bumpers for the Adult Swim network. Like, kids
Yeah.
out of the pool.
Mm-hmm. I feel like there was something like that at Skateland. I feel like there was adult skate.
Adult skate?
I think there was.
That's amazing.
I think there was like grown-up skate time.
You know, we keep saying it, but like one of these days,
I remember
we really
there was
should,
couple skate.
We really should like do a friend outing to like Skateland as adults. No.
We're all 40-ish.
My
We're gonna break our
gravity's in my
bones.
head.
We're gonna break our bones. I haven't worn skates in like 20 years. Well over 20 years.
But don't you want to feel the rush?
No, I was scared of skating when I was a child.
Oh my god.
I don't want to be
Sometimes-
8 years old and putting on skates and skating around on a wooden floor.
Sometimes I forget
You don't
My
wanna feel
hand
the
hitting a
rush of-
cardboard box.
You don't want to feel the
rush
rush,
of
of not knowing how to stop?
Yeah, the rush of the floor coming up to greet me
Okay,
and my knees.
Sometimes I realize a lot about myself that I like didn't realize before, and it's like I was just playing.
You never realized that you're reckless?
I do, but like there's correlations because I was just playing a racing game with my brother this past weekend, and like his way of playing a racing game is like I'm gonna drive this car and I'm gonna use brakes, and my way of playing a racing game is I am never gonna touch the brake. I am going to just like slide into every turn and use the wall to bounce my car back into the road, and that's how I skated. That's exactly how I would slow down. Is I would just kind of use my body and just like smack it off of, the sides until I slowed down enough.
That's what you did at the skating rink?
Yeah.
He was a
I
menace.
can't use those fucking the front
all that
brakes.
All that does is make you tip over forward. I don't
Yes.
know how anyone could possibly use that.
It's insane. It's rubber. It's a big rubber stopper that if you are going any speed and you tilt forward, you're just gonna like smack your face on the ground.
I don't remember how to stop. I would kind of just like stop moving my legs and just wait to drift to a slow stop somewhere. But at our Skateland, it was like half the rink had walls around it and half was completely open, and it was just that little teeny tiny step up into the carpet, and that was the scariest.
Okay.
Because I was like, I can't stop.
That's
I
fucked
literally
up.
can't stop there.
That's crazy.
I could at least grab the wall on the other half, but over here, I'm like, I have to be moving.
My Skateland
There's no
definitely
chance of
had a
stopping.
wall around the whole, like it had openings for you to get on, but it was mostly walls.
Oh, wow.
That's fucked
Ours
up.
was like 50% wall.
What did they run out of money for a little
It
wall?
was Dundalk.
Still.
I do remember the Dundalk one not being as good as the one on Bel Air Road.
I'm not surprised, but I've only ever been to that one.
I'm gonna convince enough of our friends to go to Skateland, and you
Good
guys can sit
fucking
there
luck.
and watch.
Who's gonna go? Maybe
Claire.
and Kelly.
They do
Yeah.
have
You'll
pizza.
get-
The three of us will be little psychos and break our fragile old bodies while you and Chris sit there laughing.
Yeah,
Eating like the
be
best,
pouring-
worst pizza.
yeah. I'll
they
be pouring
sell-
vodka into my Surge or
Yeah.
whatever.
Do they sell alcohol at Skateland? I know they do it at
I
bowling
have no
alleys.
idea.
Huh.
I don't know.
It's been decades.
I can't imagine they would want to do that.
They should make adult Skateland.
I once went to it was like a school night skate thing for Golden Ring Middle, and I ripped a hole in my pants,
Oh, I'm sorry.
and I hid in the bathroom for the rest of it.
Oh, sad.
No, that makes me sad.
But I had
That's
pizza,
sad.
so it was like, you know what? I'm going to be social and not be introverted, and it was like, nope, never again.
Immediately punished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Immediate pants hole.
Pants hole.
All right, get us back on track. It was
Okay.
a huge tangent on page 2.
She rounded the corner of West 4th in eager anticipation. Maybe today she would buy a bag of those sugary roasted nuts. Oh, right. The chapter was called
Callback.
Nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Do you think Zolov is going to, like, fall to the ground and die and, like, spill some nuts?
I hope
Because he's allergic.
I hope not. No, because he's going to get murdered by Nazis.
Yeah, they're going to slash him.
But maybe he's allergic and that's how they get him. The
Or allergic to
exquisite
Nazis.
smell was already reaching her nostrils.
Exquisite. My God.
Yes, today would be the day. She breezed into the park, actually appreciating the sunshine for once. It made the place seem so different from the malicious gang nest where Heather had been slashed.
Gang nest?
She saw Zolov's hunched, familiar back and almost ran for him. Then she stopped short. She dropped the bag and watched the silver foil-covered sandwich roll over hexagonal gray stones. She put her hand to her heart. He was there. The boyfriend. Sam.
Oh.
Whatever. He was sitting directly across from her
So she
friend.
stops, drops her sandwich, and clutches her pearls because she sees a guy she's already seen in this location.
Yeah, I thought Zolov was
I
going to
know,
be
I
like
thought
dead.
he was going to have a machete
He's a
sticking
college
out of his
Yes,
chest.
that's what I thought
Like,
too.
Jesus.
He was sitting directly across from her friend, concentrating on the chessboard. How dare he?
Oh my God.
Was he trying to hustle poor old Zolov? Couldn't he see the old man had nothing to lose besides his terrible coat and his Power Ranger?
What?
Shouldn't he be in school or something?
What?
She hoped the old man would summon up all his skill and beat the crap out of him. The boyfriend, Sam, whatever, looked scruffier today. The cuffs of his flannel shirt weren't buttoned, nor were they rolled up.
Oh
His
my
hair
goodness.
was sticking up a little in the back, and his eyes looked tired, probably from staying up all those hours worrying about Heather.
Yeah,
Blah.
probably.
Blah. The thought made her sick.
It was a great reading.
Yeah.
Gaia grabbed the sandwich and stuffed it back in the bag. Now what?
Ground
She
sandwich?
She didn't
It's
want
in
to
a
see him
wrapper.
or talk to him, but she didn't want to flee like a little mouse either.
If I bought a $9 sandwich and I dropped it in the wrapper on the ground, even in New York, I'd be like, that is still $9.
Yeah. I guess if it's in foil.
$19.99.
Of course, he had to look up right then, as she clutched her pathetic green and white bag, paralyzed with uncertainty, eyes round and startled. Why did he have
Just
this
like a
effect
deer in the
on
headlights
her?
hunched over a sandwich in a tote bag.
Why did he have this effect on her? Why? Had she some intuitive knowledge the day they played chess that he was Heather's boyfriend? Did she recognize he represented the best possible way to torment herself?
My God, Gaia, get it fucking together. She couldn't be having these alien feelings about Heather's boyfriend. It was too cruel a coincidence. Was somebody up there having a belly laugh at her expense? Huh? Zeus?
No, you're not that important.
Yeah. Her mind flashed back to their last encounter in the hospital, and she wanted to groan out loud. She felt her cheeks turning warm. No doubt about it, she was a femme fatale. What? What? I want to read that again. No doubt about it, she was a femme fatale, a romantic heroine for the ages, a heartbreaker, a female James Bond, a role model for girls everywhere. Oh no, please don't stop. Go on. Keep making references to this.
She's a femme fatale, but she can't name one femme fatale. She names James Bond.
Yeah.
Not one Bond girl.
Not one Bond girl, not one like actress from the 40s.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I'm trying to think, and then
I know we need John
Lauren
Nagel here.
Bacall.
I know. Lauren Bacall,
Yeah.
not Lauren Bacall. Come on. Of the two boys Gaia had ever met in her entire life who could have possibly ever maybe meant something important to her, and coincidentally, the only two who had ever beaten her in chess, Stephen from around the corner being the first, she'd told them both she hated them. Wow, that was a mouthful. She was 2 for 2. Okay, so the criteria is just like they had to beat her in chess, and she's like, I fucking hate you.
Yeah.
And
Or
by
I love you so
fucking
much, I hate you.
she
Yeah.
means, put it in me.
Yeah.
No wonder she'd never kissed anybody. I hate you wasn't exactly come hither. It wasn't a big turn on to most guys. No, not ones who belonged on this side of prison anyway. What? Maybe she could sell a book touting her romantic advice. Gaia's rules. Not only should you not call the sucker back, go ahead and tell him you hate him. And as a follow-up, she could publish her popularity secrets.
We're
Okay.
2/3 of the way into this book. Something should be happening.
Yeah, no, instead she's standing there, frozen, staring at him, thinking this.
Yeah.
My God. As a follow-up, she could publish her popularity secrets. Okay, it was time to go somewhere else. You think? Time to let up on the mean yet indifferent laser beams she was directing from her eyes. She wheeled around, sandwich bag in hand, and walked toward the fountain. It was a beautiful, warm day. Why didn't she just go to the fountain? That was a normal thing to do. I didn't add any of that. The benches were filled with mothers of babies. That's usually...
Mothers of babies?
Mothers of babies!
Not mothers and their babies?
No, mothers of babies.
The mothers of babies.
Mothers of babies.
The babies were elsewhere.
Who knows where the babies are?
The babies were on vacation.
Jesus Christ.
The benches were filled with
Francine.
mothers of babies, nannies, college students, people who didn't have jobs. There, directly in front of her, bathed in the buttery shade of a yellow umbrella, stood the pushcart filled with nuts, so sugary and delicious, the smell alone could make you hallucinate. Fucking, she...
Yes, we've all been to the Ren Fair.
Oh, God, she's so crazy.
And she was going to buy a bag. So what if her stomach felt like it had been stapled shut? Stapled was capitalized for some reason.
Okay.
"One bag, please," she said to the cart's proprietor as he stirred the caramelized mass. She thrust $2 in his hand, and he gave her the warm paper pouch filled with sticky nuts. The smell was a living thing. She put one in her mouth. She chewed. She tried another. She kept chewing as she walked herself from the fountain to the dog run near the perimeter of the park, feeling her hopes deflate as the grease from the nuts soaked through the paper to her fingers. I feel like I've lost my mind.
This bitch would lose her mind if she ever went to a Renfest.
Yeah. Oh my God, if she tried cheesecake on a steak,
Ugh.
she'd lose it. Sugar roasted nuts, as it turned out, could be added to the list that included vanilla extract and bread and meeting a guy you could fall in love with. Things that smelled a lot better than they tasted.
What?
What?
I
Okay.
don't know.
Things that smell better than they taste.
Okay.
Vanilla extract, agree.
Sure, yeah.
Vanilla extract
It's
tastes
too-
like shit.
Yeah,
If you just taste it, it tastes like
it's crazy.
shit.
Yeah, it smells great.
Bread, incorrect.
Yeah.
Love
Meeting
bread.
a guy you could fall in love with.
Smell, smell or taste?
Smell
on that
better
one?
than taste. Okay.
Sure.
She doesn't like the taste of the sugar nuts.
Yeah. What? Like, I didn't get that
Bitch,
from
you're
what you just
crazy.
read.
Yeah, she's disappointed. She's disappointed. Her hopes have deflated.
Okay.
I think that's what happened.
Okay.
That was a lot.
Oh my God, Gaia.
I was going to read this page, but there's Russian speech patterns coming up, so this is obviously for Chris.
Okay,
All
sure.
right. 6 minutes and a pawn. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out who says
I know.
the first line. Okay.
Yeah.
Checkmate. Sam glanced up in surprise. Zolov wasn't looking at him with his usual winking smile of triumph. He was looking at him with pity. He had lost? Already? How could that be? Of course, he always lost to Zolov. In spite of his insanity, Zolov was a truly great player.
In spite of his insanity?
Yeah. In his day, the old guy
All
had
Russians
beaten-
in the 90s were crazy and wacky or villains.
That's true.
And
That's true.
nothing else.
That's true.
In his day, the old guy had beaten or drawn many of the greatest chess players in the world, but usually Sam and Zolov fought their way through long, dramatic battles, masterful exchanges of material. Today, it was 6 minutes and a pawn.
Hang on. Usually, so he comes here all the time to play Zolov, and Gaia goes there all the time to hang out with Zolov,
Yeah.
and they've never fucking met before?
Yes.
Okay.
Except for the rain chess day, apparently.
Okay.
I'm starting to think Zolov is German, reading how this is written
Okay.
phonetically. Okay. What happened to you? Zolov asked. Sam was watching the place across the park where Gaia's back had been minutes before. I don't know, he said absently. I got distracted, I guess. By that girl? Sam couldn't breathe. He was choking. Was it possible to choke to death on your own saliva? Huh?
Probably, yeah.
Who? The pretty one. She's smart too, you know.
It's making me think of, what's his face from Coraline?
Fucking Ian McShane.
Yes, Ian McShane from Coraline.
It's like Babushnik or something.
Oh, yeah.
My
The
little
pretty
mice, they go,
one.
tee-too-too.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Smart too, you know.
Toodle too.
I don't know who you mean. Zolov was now smiling. I think you do.
My God.
Sam almost bit his tongue in annoyance. After 2 years of listening to Zolov theorize about the young man who sold sodas by the fountain, World War I Polish spy called Tuber, the social worker from the homeless...
Sorry, what?
In parentheses, I guess his theory about the guy that sold sodas is that he's a World War I Polish spy called Tuber. The social worker from the homeless
That
coalition...
seems racist.
Malevolent alien from a whole other solar system. Mm-hmm. The old man picked quite a moment to be perceptive. I have to go, Sam said, standing. Good game, he lied, handing Zolov a 5. I'll see you Thursday. Sam?
Sam turned around in amazement. Zolov called him boy and keyed and you, but he never called him Sam. Yeah? You go get that girl and tell her I want my sandwich.
Welcome. Bienvenue. Welcome.
I wish I knew more of Cabaret. No way!
All I know from Cabaret is from those few episodes of Schitt's Creek.
Oh, Schitt's Creek, yeah.
Orville Peck's playing the MC in a production.
That
Oh my
sounds
God.
awesome. Holy
So
shit.
come to Baltimore?
I have no idea.
Wow, he's gonna crush that.
God damn.
No way, Sam muttered to himself. No way was he ever going any place near that kind of trouble again.
Good on you, Sam. She clearly is trouble.
Yeah. This chapter is called Sam. As a child, I was a disaster. I had a terrible stammer, which made me shy and pitifully awkward.
That's why I went to speech classes and now talk this way.
I'm really happy I got this page. My teeth pointed in every direction, and my hair was so thick it lay in a stack on my head. It started early. I was a maladjusted baby. You may think that all babies are at least a little bit cute, but I wasn't. I didn't walk till after I was 2. I didn't think I learned to talk at all. I don't think I learned to talk at all until I was 4 years old. My stammer was triggered by everything but nervousness most of all, and I was always nervous. It was your classic catch-22. My nervousness made me stammer, just like what I just did. And the more I stammered, the more nervous I got. I even stammered in my thoughts. Ha-ha! I was badly isolated. I spent all my time either on the computer or playing chess. Or playing chess on the computer. I started playing in chess tournaments when I was about 6. Even among chess geeks, I was considered untouchable. Stop by a chess tournament sometime, and you'll see how truly scary that is.
I've seen the Queen's Gambit. I know how scary it is.
I never could have imagined how much of this book was chess.
Me either. Chock full of chess. I have an older brother to remind me of all this in case I ever forget. When I was 12, my parents started to worry about me in earnest. I suspect they were embarrassed to take me any place. I had a crash course in speech therapy. That's, like Chris said, that's where I developed this wonderful accent. Several, to be honest. A vengeful orthodontist installed an aircraft carrier worth of metal in my mouth. My mom dragged me to a hair cutter who cost about $1,000. She outfitted me at the Gap.
He got $1,000 haircut? It took $1,000 to fix his hair?
That's just how bad it was, Bekah.
Jesus. Did they, install a new scalp on him?
I had high-tech cowlick surgery.
They changed my entire hairline.
Yeah.
I'm just
Very invasive procedure.
I said to my mom, I was like, Mother, why didn't we just use gel?
It's a weird thing to give a 12-year-old hair plugs. I'm sorry. I'm laughing so hard. I don't know why I'm laughing so hard
Outfitted at the
at the.
She outfitted me at the Gap, seeing as how she spent all of her money at the dentist.
But in that
No, the hair cutter.
But the voice just gets more and more perfect for him every time he fucking speaks or thinks.
It does. She outfitted me at the Gap. Oh man, I made myself laugh so hard I cried. Oh shit. Okay. By the time I returned to school for 7th grade, I was unrecognizable.
I was so hot.
7th grade. I know. I was
Such a hot 12-year-old.
Oh, my
I
hair.
look like Devon Sawa.
Oh man. Oh shit. Devon Sawa. I actually considered changing my name and just starting from scratch. They could call me
Human Casper.
Hot child. I said hot child.
They could call me Hot Child. Summer in the city. Oh god, my head hurts.
So I guess you could say life as I know it began when I was 12 and became hot. I was born that first day of junior high. Wait, what's junior high? We've had this conversation 1,000 times.
Junior high is 6th to 8th grade.
Middle school.
You're not 12. You're not 12 when you start middle school. You're 10 when you start middle school.
No, it's not middle. No, middle school is. Wait. Isn't. No, junior high is like 6 to 8, right?
I don't know what it is.
Middle school's before that.
Oh, wait, middle school? Yeah, middle school is 6 to 8. I don't.
Well, then what the fuck is junior high?
I don't know. You're the
High
one that went
school-
to junior high?
Wait, what?
Didn't you have junior high?
No, I just had high school.
What did you have middle school?
We had grade school. No, we had grade school and then high school. Because I think grade school, we just called it grade school, which was like 1st to 8th grade. And then we had high school, which was 9 to 12. We never called it junior high. But I think junior high is 6 to 8.
It is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what I just said.
Okay. I'm trying to process.
Yeah.
I had elementary school, which was 1st to 5th grade.
Okay.
Middle school, which was 6 to 8. And then high school, which is 9 to 12. So what the fuck is junior high?
No, 12 tracks, because my nephew was born when I was 11, and I was in elementary school.
You're 12 when you're in like 8th grade, right?
No.
Yes.
No.
What?
You're 12 when you're in like 7th grade. You start
I was young.
6th grade. Well, I also had like a late birthday, so I was relatively young. I started 8th grade, or fuck, Jesus, 6th grade. I started middle school. I was probably 10, but people are like 10 or 11.
You're 5 when you start kindergarten, so by the time you leave elementary school, you're 12.
Middle school, this is from the internet, so you know it's true.
Yes.
Middle school, also known as junior high.
So just all of middle school is junior high?
But I think that's just 6, 7, 8. You can call it middle school or you can call it junior high. It's the same thing.
But fully, your first day of junior high is not when you're 12. It's when you're 10 or 11. So maybe his first day of going to school with his fucking makeover. Yes. I don't know. I regret even stopping. I'm fine now. Totally fine. This was not a spiral. Now. I feel great. Fine. Even good, according to a lot of people. I know how to dress. The Gap. I know how to speak. And even so, I'm still good at chess.
My secret shame.
Oh my god.
I masquerade as one of the blessed.
Oh my god.
One of the normal, effortless joiners who believe, without thinking about it too deeply, that the world exists for people like us. It's a lie, of course. I come from the other side. I know what it's like over there, being an ugly 10-year-old. It really scars you. There are still vestiges of dorkdom in me.
I
clearly
do not like him now.
Oh my god, I don't
like him now.
I should just keep reading and not add anything, because he's fucking
doing all the work for you.
He's doing all the work for me. There are still vestiges of dorkdom in me. See my use of the word vestiges, for example. Mm-hmm. They pop up all the time. They remind me that if I were born in another age, say prehistory, before braces and speech therapy, I would be the dorkiest caveman who ever lived.
Hey, Sam.
And the person I was probably meant to be.
Hey, Sam, I'm going to do you one better. If your parents weren't rich,
oh yeah, exactly.
You would just be that. If your parents couldn't afford your fucking $1,000 haircut, asshole, at 12.
Your incredibly expensive preteen makeover.
Yeah, and and your fucking closet full of Gap clothes.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep reading a little bit.
Keep reading. Oh, I don't like him.
Interstitial, melting away.
Oh, shit.
Her gaze swept over Sam's still body. Oh, no. And she had an almost overwhelming need to go to him, to kneel over him and make sure he was breathing.
I hope he's not. I hope he dies.
First and second punches. She wasn't that pretty, okay? She wasn't that pretty. Okay, she was that pretty. Sorry. I read that super wrong. But not pretty like Heather. The kind of pretty that everybody noticed right away. Gaia's face, devoid of makeup or any expression meant to please, was unfortunately more memorizing to Sam every time he saw it. God, and those eyes! They haunted him. Because she's Anya Taylor-Joy.
Anya Taylor-Joy, that's right, yeah.
It makes sense. Mm-hmm. He couldn't get a fix on them. One time they were the endless azure of a summer sky. Another time the blue-violet of early evening. And still another the indescribable color of a typhoon. I guess I couldn't describe that if you asked me.
Gray? I am positive Francine Pascal described the Wakefield twins as azure.
Probably.
Before.
She's got a thing for blue eyes.
Yeah.
He turned up LaGuardia. I don't understand. Oh, is that a street?
It's a road, I think.
Okay,
and
he
an
turned
airport.
up LaGuardia. I only know the airport. It was almost 8:30 in the evening, and he wanted to get to the hospital to see Heather before visiting hours were up. He'd cut through the park, just a corner of it. But it wasn't just the way Gaia looked. And another thing! Was it because she was so unbelievably good at chess? Granted, that had really thrown him, but that couldn't explain it fully either. He had every reason to dislike her. He did dislike her. Mm-hmm. No decent person would have treated Heather the way Gaia did. For a while, he'd tried convincing himself that he was thinking about her so much because he disliked her, but it wasn't working anymore. Sam was a rational person. Overly rational if you listen to Heather or his mother or most of his friends. He wasn't romantic. He wasn't poetic. He wasn't nostalgic. He wasn't obsessive, until this week anyway. What was wrong with him? What were the chances that she, Gaia, had thought about him even a minute for each hour he thought of her? Very
high,
good.
Super high, really high.
Stop obsessing about each other. He was a rational person. He would figure this out, and maybe then he could make it go away, he assured himself as he glanced toward the chess tables, squinting through the darkness, to see that none of the few shadowy figures was hers.
He didn't see her, but he did see something strange. He moved closer. He first recognized the hunched shape of Zolov swaying to get to his feet. Another figure was hovering, bearing down on the old man. No. He heard a groan, first quiet, then it grew loud and terrifying. Sam was running before he was able to process what was happening. "Zolov!" he shouted. The old man was waving his arms, trying to defend himself from the attack. He shouted hoarsely in a language Sam didn't understand. Scheiße! It was a young man, Sam realized as he raced toward them, and he had a razor blade. "Get away from him!" Sam shouted. The young man turned his head and locked eyes with Sam for a millionth of a second. He was young.
That's so fast.
Dark-haired, intense, pumped up on adrenaline or something else. Sam hated him. What kind of monster would attack a fragile, crazy old man? Sam
Stop calling him crazy.
So rude.
Sam watched in horror as he threw Zolov to the ground. Zolov cried out. Sam saw blood on the old man's face, flooding the crags and wrinkles.
Crags!
Oh, God!
Jesus,
His heart
Sam.
was seized with panic.
He's so crazy and old.
Craggly.
He threw himself at the attacker and shoved him as hard as he could. Thoughts were only fragments moving through his mind at uneven speeds. The attacker lost his balance, but only for a moment. He steadied himself and came at Sam. Gross. There was a fist, really big. Sam heard an awful-sounding crack, then saw the orange insides of his eyelids. He blinked his eyes open. He was still on his feet. His cheekbone was blazing with pain. One eye was pounding, already swelling with blood. The fist was coming again. Gross. But time was Oslo now. Oh, okay.
What?
I get that. Like Norway time. Like everything's fucked up. Slow enough for Sam to dodge the fist and to remember
it's a fucking it's a typo because this book is full of typos. I think it's just supposed to say slow, not Oslo.
Yeah, okay. The fist was coming again.
I like that you made it make sense. You're like, yeah, Norway time.
But time was slow now. Slow enough for Sam to dodge the fist and to remember that he had never been in a fight before, that he was out of his league. He willed
Maybe
his
if he had
hand
stayed
to
ugly
clench.
longer, he would have gotten punched a couple times.
Right?
And he'd be able to deal with this now.
My problem is that I got pretty too quickly.
Yeah.
Don't want to ruin this phase.
He trained his good eye on the guy's mouth. He swung as hard as he could, his knuckles connected to soft flesh. The guy grunted. Ugh. Sam felt a surge of energy so strong it seemed to erase his memory, to blow out his consciousness.
He realized he gets boners when he punches people.
He swung again, without thinking. He caught an ear this time, hard. The guy staggered to one side, caught his balance. He didn't come back at Sam, as Sam was expecting. Instead, he stepped backward, putting several more feet between them. "You're dead," he hissed at Sam through blubbery, swollen lips. "I'm gonna kill you." And then he ran off. Sam was almost instantly kneeling at Zolov's side. The man was groaning softly. Sam took his shirt and gently wiped away the blood so he could determine the seriousness of the wound. It appeared to be shallow and less than 2 inches in length, but bleeding heavily. Zolov's eyes fluttered open, then shut again. His breath was short and raspy. Sam was suddenly terrified the old man's heart was going to stop. He hated to leave him, but he loved to watch him go.
Jesus Christ.
"Zolov," he whispered, cradling his head. "You're going to be okay, but I need to call an ambulance. I'll be back as fast as I can." He laid the gray...
It's 1999. Someone's got a cell phone. Some
Right?
rich yuppie.
Yeah.
Could probably yell.
He laid the guy...
In the chest district.
the chest district. He laid the gray, frizzled head on the soft ground. He stood looking at him for another moment before he took off at a sprint for the public payphone.
Another mistake. As soon as Gaia heard the noise, the fine, light hair on her arms prickled and her skin was covered with bumps. She had no idea what that was because she was fearless.
Oh, right.
And I guess never got a little chilly, so doesn't know what goosebumps are. She had the feeling sometimes when she sensed danger. Her vision and her hearing became almost supernaturally acute.
It's Gaia
She could-
sense.
Yeah.
The Gaia tingle.
She could almost feel her muscles feasting on oxygen, preparing for action. She knew the... It was my pen.
No, I don't think muscles feast on oxygen.
Muscles feasting on oxygen?
Yeah.
I think that's just how science works.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
She knew the muffled cries and moans were Zolov's well before she actually saw him. Zolov's attacker broke away as Gaia flew to the old man's side. She put her arms around the frail shoulders, examining the wound on his face. There was a certain amount of blood, but it was already thickening around the slash. That was a good sign, apparently.
Yeah, it's clotting.
She clutched him gently. "You're going to be fine," she promised him, not wanting to leave him in his disoriented state. But she had to, because, amazingly, the demon who had attacked the old man was still within sight. Gaia ran like hell.
Sam.
Oh, God, you're probably right.
Yeah.
In the darkness, she saw nothing more than his silhouette. The attacker sprinted toward the south edge of the park. Gaia flew after him, her rage undergoing nuclear fission as her feet pounded the pavement. What kind of monster would attack a helpless old man? He was fast, but she was faster. She literally launched herself from the ground and tackled him from behind. He shouted in surprise. They rolled together across a grassy patch, limbs tangling. Strong arms circled her hips, pulling her down. They tumbled again before she managed to pin him under her. She secured his torso between her knees and shoved his head to the ground. Her hands were tightening around his neck before she looked him in the face. She closed her eyes in disbelief. When she opened them again, her heart changed places with her stomach.
Gross.
It was Sam.
What?
Yeah, what?
She was so astounded, she let go of him, and in an instant he'd flipped her over. Now he was kneeling over her, pressing her shoulders into the ground with his hands.
Yeah.
Gaia!
Yeah.
Gaia, what do you think you're doing? He bellowed at her. I'm going to reread that. Gaia, what do you think you're doing? He bellowed at her. She saw clearly now that one of his eyes was purple and almost swollen shut. Her mind was whizzing, trying to make sense of it. Zolov is hurt, Sam yelled, only inches from her ear. He was slashed. I need to call for help. Her ears rang painfully.
Ow.
Like me when you talk.
Yeah.
You, she choked out. I thought you thought I what? I slashed him? Are you insane? Sam's eyes, or the one that was still open anyway, were wild with adrenaline. Her waist was gripped too tightly between his knees. He was digging the heels of his hands into her chest. In a lightning-quick move, she managed to get one hand around each of his arms and pulled them out from under him. His weight collapsed on top of her, and she quickly flipped him over again.
Okay, stop wrestling and call the police.
She drove her knee into his abdomen and held him steady with her forearms. Then who did it? She demanded. He stared at her with a mixture of anger.
Where are the other drugs going?
I really wanted to do
Batman.
that.
Okay.
He stared at her with a mixture of anger and disbelief.
I forgot that she's supposed to sound like Batman when she's a vigilante.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He stared at her with a mixture of anger and disbelief. Some asshole who's going to get away if you don't get the hell off me. He wrapped his arms around her back in a bear hug and tried to roll her again, but this time she wasn't budging. He was holding her so tight. Her face was buried in his neck. Fine, she said, as well as she could, considering her lips were pressed against his skin. Let me go, and I'll let you go. But neither of them moved. Fine, you let go first, he demanded in her hair. Why? His voice was strained by the presence of her knee in his stomach.
My God, guys, get it together. Gingerly, slowly, she let up the pressure from her knee. Whoa! She called out as he threw her off him fast and surprisingly hard. Her butt landed on the pavement. Ouch! She complained. She was mad. She couldn't help herself. As soon as he was on his feet, she sprang to hers and shoved him. He reeled backward a couple of steps.
Your friend's dying.
And then he leaped at her and shoved her right. He shoved her back.
Cool.
You guys. Her eyes
It's
widened.
about time men stood up physically to women.
Yeah. Her eyes widened in disbelief as soon as she
if
caught...
someone flew through the air and tackled me, and then
It
as
was
soon
a
as we got up, they shoved me
Misunder-
again,
I
would probably shove them.
I did slap my friend Christine in the face.
Well,
one
she
time.
was trying to break your finger.
She was. Drunk bitch. Her eyes widened in disbelief. As soon as she caught her balance, she stormed at him. He was a lot taller than she, so she had to jump to jab her shoulder into his solar plexus.
She just jumped her
It's
shoulder
like
into
Superman.
his body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ugh.
She's never kissed anyone before, all right?
This is all she has, violence.
They are, they're straight up fighting.
Yeah. Well, they were chest fucking and now they're fight fucking.
That's true.
And Zolov is bleeding
And
out.
Zolov is like, somebody please help me.
If only it was raining.
Yeah. Ugh, he grunted.
Sexy rain fight.
She was.
Yes.
Yes. She was satisfied to see she'd nearly knocked the wind out of him. She put two hands on his stomach and pushed him to the ground. With admirable speed, he rolled toward her and hugged her ankles. Oh, she shouted in surprise as he pulled her legs out from under her. She fell directly on top of him. Ah, are you guys turned on as much as I am? In anger and confusion.
I think I have a reverse boner.
Yeah, it
I'm
sucks back up
confused
inside.
about the logistics. I'm not good at picturing this kind of stuff.
They're just on top of each other.
Actually,
Yeah,
this
sure.
is the most realistic written fight. It's mostly just sloppy grappling.
Shoving and yeah. In anger and confusion, she grabbed the first thing she could. His penis. No, his hair, as it turned
Penis
out.
hair.
His penis hair.
Don't ever say that again.
Which one? Both of us?
Yes, both of you. Anyone hearing these words, don't ever say those words to me.
All right.
Continue.
He grabbed hers right back. Cool. She was lying.
Christopher!
Chris, what did she just say?
What did I just say?
Oh, boy.
Oh, we have fun.
We sure do. She was lying on top of him, one arm around his neck, his legs were clasped around hers, his arms circling her waist. Kiss already. God. Where had her great fighting prowess gone? She'd been baffled. Sorry. I couldn't see the L at first, and I was like, she'd been baffed? Is that a thing? She'd been baffled, confused, angered by this guy who wasn't extraordinarily skilled or trained, and now she'd been reduced to pulling hair. I don't know who is saying this. Okay. There he is! A voice shouted. I don't know whose. From their tangle on the grass, they both looked up, mute.
I think the Nazis are going to show up, and then it's going to be a big old fight.
Nazi fight in
Sharp
the park.
edges. Oh shit, Sam mumbled, still clutching Gaia as the guy who attacked Zolov came near, flanked by two guys on each side. Guys! The guy's lips were closing.
Hey.
I need to just stop bothering to ad-lib. And he looked mad enough to dismember, if not kill. Mm-hmm. I like mad enough to dismember.
Yeah.
It's like
Chewie?
No. What was the thing from the Night of the Living Dummy? Or wait. Not that one.
Wait, are you thinking of this knife is so sharp you can skin a newlywed?
Yeah, skin the newlyweds. Skin the newlyweds, mad enough to dismember.
Yeah.
Suddenly
Write
Sam...
down mad enough to dismember, because you're going to want to remember
I didn't know
that.
if it was that good or not.
It's pretty good. It's not as weird as you could skin a newlywed.
Mad enough to dismember. It's pretty fucking weird,
But
though.
pretty good.
I won't be able to read that later.
Good.
Suddenly, Sam found himself holding Gaia even tighter, but strangely, his motive had transformed. Wow, I can't believe it.
I am a protector.
Yeah. It's
going to be hard to fight with this boner.
He no longer wanted to
fight with the boner.
Jesus fucking Christ.
He no longer wanted to pull her limb from limb. Now he felt an urgent need to protect her. There were 5 of them. Count them. 5. 3 of them were big. 2 of them looked young, in their middle teens maybe, not totally filled out. So like 15?
It's like 15?
For a moment he buried his eyes in Gaia's soft, pale hair. I hope not physically.
No, I think physically. I think he...
really
what are we going to do?
I'm also picturing him doing, like, just looking up at the Nazis and going, like,
He's just a cartoon character. If it weren't so surreal and horrendous, he would have laughed. In the last 5 minutes, he'd thrown the first and second punches of his life, found himself wrestling on the ground with the object of his infatuation, not only brilliant at chess, but a match for Hulk Hogan. Now he was... Yes, brother. Now he was holding her in his arms and smelling her hair as he faced imminent death at the hands of 5 angry gang members, while his ancient friend and mentor was possibly bleeding to death. Ancient! They're being
Don't forget
so
crazy.
cruel to him.
I know.
He's ancient and
crazy.
Get off your girlfriend and stand up, the slasher demanded roughly. Somehow it didn't seem necessary to point out that Gaia was not his girlfriend. They sorted out their limbs and both stood up. They exchanged a look filled with things he couldn't decipher. Amazing how quickly your enemy seemed like your friend when faced with a worse enemy. If only there was a saying for that.
I was just gonna say.
Jesus, it's her, one of the guys said. Sam looked at Gaia again. He couldn't guess what that meant. Leave her alone, he barked at them, stepping forward.
Okay, now Chris, remember, if Gaia talks, she's Batman.
All right. Which Batman?
All of them.
Christian Bale. Yeah, all of them smashed together.
Every
He's
Batman
son-
at the same
Every
time.
Batman. She is every. You know how Ray was like, "I am every Jedi."
I'm
Gaia is every
I
Batman.
was thinking I'm every woman.
Wait, what?
I was thinking I'm every
Yeah,
woman.
I just sang it.
A song. The song Chris just sang.
I'm every Batman.
What is that? This is the second
a song!
tonight
Are you
that I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm every woman.
Listeners, before we started recording, Chris sang a silly song that I just thought was a silly song he made up, and it turned out it was a song by The Who, and I didn't know what it was. And the two of these motherfuckers were making fun of me about it. And now,
Wait, so Chris, who was it originally? Whitney Houston or Shaka Khan? Because there's
Shaka
two
Khan,
versions.
I think.
Okay.
Okay. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Ah. I know Chris can't hear
There's
this.
no way you don't know this.
Okay. I'm into it. I'm way more into this than I was that Who song.
Well, yeah.
But just change the word woman to Batman.
Okay. Yep. Okay. I've heard this before.
Okay.
I do know this song.
Thank God.
Yeah. That's funny though. Now
I feel like it was probably in the birdcage.
it was not in the Birdcage. I've seen the movie a billion times.
Okay, well, you may know the birdcage better than me.
I know the
but
Birdcage better than I
There's
know.
a lot of music you should know and don't, and it's shocking.
Yeah. Shocking Khan.
Let's move on.
I just watched
I'm not
the
laughing because
light
it was funny.
leave
I'm
your
laughing because of
eyes.
how bad it was.
Thank you, Chris. Even Chris didn't like it.
All right.
I can't wait until we listen to this episode in like 2 months while we're playing video games, because we do that sometimes, and then we hear me make that joke, and then I look over at Bekah, and she gives me the same fucking look she just did. I cannot wait for that to happen.
A lot of the times when we listen to this, I'm like, oh my God, I'm really mean. But I don't think I was mean enough about what you just said. Future me, you could have been meaner.
Okay.
All
Holy
right.
shit. Okay, so I'm every Batman.
He suddenly felt like he was playing a role in a movie, portraying a character who said and did things he never would. Best to keep pretending because reality, namely 5 guys and possibly 1 girl who wanted to kill him, was hard to take. Gaia, go, he said in a low voice. I'll be okay. Ha! Had his character really just said that? She was standing so close, he could still feel the warmth of her
Fully
body.
I
dissociating.
know. What?
It was intoxicating, really not what he needed at the moment. Boner alert. The guy, the swollen-lipped
It
slasher.
does feel like
was al-
something he'd say. Yeah. So fucking lame.
Boner alert. Sorry, that was the former me speaking. Before I had braces. The guy, the swollen-lipped slasher, was only a few feet away now.
That's what the
bouncing a
newspapers
little.
will call him.
Bouncing a little on the balls of his feet. His friends had circled Sam and Gaia. 2 of them wore floppy hoods that were white and pointed,
I know. I was like, oh.
covering their shaved head. So if they're wearing floppy hoods, then how
do
does
you
he know
know?
it's covering their shaved heads and keeping their faces in shadow?
Yeah, yeah.
Another had a do-rag pulled low over his forehead. As he looked at them, Sam was weirdly calm and disconnected.
Okay,
He
not
was
to be that guy, but I think she's mixing gangs, because I don't think any neo-Nazis would ever wear a do-rag. Right?
Well, their heads would get cold.
Yeah, but isn't... I guess. I don't
Maybe
know
he
enough.
forgot something with a hood.
I don't know enough about gangs. I just feel like Nazis wouldn't be into any sort of, like, typically, like, black culture thing, you know?
Well, maybe it's like a bandana.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway,
Fuck
he
him.
was Sam was weirdly calm and disconnected. He was resigned to getting beat up. He felt more scared about what they might do to Gaia. Let her go, Sam said. The guy's smile was grotesque, with the swollen lip pulling in odd directions. My bud CJ thinks she did him wrong. One of the hooded guys came forward and grabbed Gaia by the shoulders. He dragged her several yards from Sam, pinning her arms to her sides in a bear hug.
What? Okay.
The horror was now dawning on Sam. He felt bile rising in his throat. Anger mixed with fear to make desperation. Gaia's eyes were huge and luminous.
Gaia's eyes.
Gaia's eyes were huge and luminous. He went after the guy who held her, fast, without letting himself think too much. He hauled off and punched the guy, catching his jawbone so hard his knuckles blazed. Gaia slipped quickly out of the guy's grip. Get away, he urged her silently. Run away and get... He'd grabbed her waist and was about to physically shove her when a slamming blow to the back of his head shattered his mind.
Oh my god.
He spun
Did she punch him in the head?
around and got a sharp kick in the stomach.
I think a Nazi punched him in the head.
It would be funny if she just like knocked him out to save his
And then
life,
do it all herself.
or just like get him out of the way.
Yes.
And, yeah.
Yeah. He was lying on the ground now, disoriented by the number of arms and feet and faces spinning against a sapphire sky. A kick landed on his chest and took his breath away.
Bom,
He
bom,
saw-
bom, bom, bom. Bom, bom.
John, do you know that song?
Bom, bom. Bom, 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 bom,
How dare you? Of course I know that song.
You don't know I'm every woman.
I know. Take my breath away. He saw Gaia's face over him, glowing white, like an angel's. Broken thoughts and
Or
feelings
Anya
lay...
Taylor-Joy's.
Broken
Glowing
thoughts
white.
and feelings lay in pieces, with edges...
That sounds like a Green Day lyric.
I was just gonna be like, this sounds like a...
And thoughts that make you smile.
Yeah. Broken thoughts and pieces. With edges sharp enough
Wait,
to cut.
I said the thing. I heard you telling that story
Yes.
before I came in.
Yeah.
That's not an actual Green Day lyric, but I always think it is.
The thoughts that make you smile.
Yes.
I know. I can't remember if I told the story.
Broken thoughts and feelings lay
Well, I
in
heard you
pieces.
telling Chris, and I was like, Chris has heard the story 20 times, I'm sure.
I'm sure. And if you're listening to this and I've told the story, I'm sorry, and I'll make it very quick. When I was in 8th grade, our graduation song was Time of Your Life. That's the name of the song, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
thought it had another name, but whatever. Anyway, I went to Catholic school, and our music teacher thought that the lyric "Dead Skin on Trial"
I
was
think
just
Time
like...
of Your Life is the parenthetical.
Okay.
It's good riddance, parentheses.
riddance,
Good
okay.
riddance, parentheses, time of your life.
Our music teacher was like, I don't like that part of the song where he says "dead skin on trial," and she literally was
But
like,
though it
I don't
means
know what it
nothing.
means. I just don't like the way it sounds. So
Hold
she
on,
changed.
That's so fucking funny that the song's called Good Riddance, but it was so many graduation songs.
Yeah. It's almost like all of the adults that picked it didn't know anything about Green Day.
It's almost like saying, I hope you had the time of your life was spiteful.
Yeah. Anyway, she changed the lyric from "dead skin on trial" to "thoughts that make you smile." Tattoos and memories and thoughts that make you smile. I fucking hate that song. Anyway,
Everyone, we all hate it.
we all hate it.
is worth
It was worth a while.
We all had to hear it 10,000 times that year.
Yes. Something
Well,
unpredictable.
not even that year, because we're 2 years apart, but
Yeah.
it was still
It was like
going
5
strong when I
straight
graduated.
fucking years of
Yeah.
nothing but the time of your
Still
life.
a
Dominated.
graduation song.
Probably. It's because adults are like, this song's called Time of Your Life. And that's what they had. They're never going to forget this 8th grade or 12th
Peaked
or
in
whatever.
8th grade.
Yeah. I peaked in school. Fucking losers. He reached for her. He wanted to tell her something, but he couldn't fit the aching, full-hearted feelings into words. Why don't you focus on fighting Nazis? The last thing he saw from the corner of his eye was a Timberland coming at the side of his head. After that, thankfully, he saw and felt nothing. Sam died. I'm going to read the next page.
That Green Day song came out in 97.
Okay, yeah.
What a year.
But that was
That was 5th grade for...
Oh, because...
that was middle school times. That wasn't high school, but it was still around in high school.
Yeah, because they wouldn't stop
It's just
using
crazy.
it. Yeah.
Because the
I
Blizzard
thought
in
it would be like
96
2002 or something.
Oh my god,
but it
no.
was-
Yeah.
The Blizzard in 96 was in 4th grade.
What? For you?
Well, I don't know what the blizzard has to do with Green Day.
Yeah, wait,
Well, no,
what?
I'm just saying that I just said it was 5th grade, and then you said I remember that song being middle school, but it came out when we were in 5th grade.
Me said that?
I
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
I 97, we were in middle school, Chris. 96, yeah, we were 10.
No, Blizzard in 96 was 4th grade.
What for you?
I don't know.
What? Not you. You're old, but me and Bekah are the same age.
Yeah, but what does the fucking Blizzard in 96 have to do with Green Day?
I'm just saying the song came out when me and Bekah were in 5th grade, not middle school.
What? Wait, she said the song came out in 97. That's a year after the Blizzard of 96.
I get so confused because of when I was born
grade.
and the school years.
Yeah.
But middle school for me was 97, 98, 99.
Okay.
I think.
But earlier in 97, we were in 5th grade.
High school was 2000 to 2004.
Well, and also, I mean, like, every school year straddles 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's confusing.
It's confusing. I can't fucking do numbers
It doesn't.
right now.
None of.
It's a Thursday.
It's a Thursday, guys. Come on.
Anyway, I just kind of assumed that Green Day song came out when we were in high school because of how prevalent it was.
Oh, yeah.
But apparently not.
Well, no,
apparently
yeah, because I graduated. My
me
grades
and Chris were in elementary or middle school.
My grades are very easy for me to remember because they always matched up with the year. So, like, I graduated 8th grade in 98. Like, every year was the year it was. So it's very easy for me to be like...
Every year was the year it was.
Yeah, that's a Yogi Berra fucking thing for me to say. Wherever you go, there you are.
My first thought was, I bet kids these days don't know who Yogi Berra is.
Holy shit, I can't believe I know who Yogi Berra is.
I know, but we're not kids these days. We're old as shit.
That's true.
I mean, kids these days.
Kids these days,
not
though.
40-year-olds.
Yeah, but...
And almost 40-year-olds.
But even, like, Yogi Berra is still, I think, a pretty old reference for us to make, right?
Probably. I feel like...
Hold on.
I don't
Jonathan.
know. I bet other millennials would know.
Yeah.
Jonathan, do you think we're referencing Yogi Bear?
No, what? Yogi Berra, the baseball player, who had very silly things to say. I know some things, Chris. Some things.
Silly things to say.
I just didn't hear the because Zoom clips
He's
everything.
like the modern American Confucius.
And that would have been really fucking funny if you were referencing Yogi Bear.
It would be, though. That would, honestly, that would be
just
very...
like Yogi Bear used to say.
That would be very on brand for me.
Wherever you go,
be like,
there you are.
Yeah, you know that cartoon bear that said silly things?
Boo-boo.
What baseball player?
Oh, my God. I forgot about Yogi Bear. I used to love that show.
Hey, boo-boo.
My childhood nickname from my parents was Boo Boo.
Aww.
Because you were an accident.
Or Boogaloo.
Jesus.
Well, what wasn't it, though, because you were an accident?
I joke that it was because I was an accident. My parents vehemently say, like, no, it's because you looked like Boo Boo.
Aww.
And my dad would go, hey, Boo Boo.
That is cute.
That is cute.
That's
my mom
cute.
called me Bekah Boo. I think just because of alliteration.
Yeah.
And my mom would go, hey, Boogaloo.
That's adorable.
Boogaloo. That's good. I don't think
I'm
my
very
parents
You
didn't.
didn't have a nickname? You didn't have a childhood cute nickname?
No, the nickname I had was from other classmates, and it was Johnny E. And I hated
That
it.
doesn't even sound good. It's too many E sounds.
It was like, hey, Johnny E. Johnny E. There goes Johnny E.
I don't like it.
It sounds cooler than they said it. Said it.
Wouldn't it be better if it was Johnny?
It doesn't sound cool at all the way you said it. I mean, it doesn't sound cool.
Thank you.
I don't like
just
the sound
like
of it.
I mean, as someone who's gone through
It's
his
not a good
entire life.
nickname.
No, it's not. I hated it.
I guess I lucked out because I went my entire life being called Chris Z.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I was mostly just called Bekah. But my mom still calls me Boo.
Mm-hmm. I wish I had a cute nickname.
There was at least a little bit of time where my dad would call my sister Bruises. Because she always had bruises. And I think she does continue to still have a lot of bruises. No, she just always had mystery bruises. But thinking back on it, that's such a badass nickname.
That's such a badass name.
It
Oh my
sounds
god,
like
I
you're
hit the
a little
mic.
gangster.
That's such a badass name to
Bruises.
have. What's up, Bruises? Hey, this is my gang. Bruises, Cutter, Clobber. We call that one Clobber because of the size of his fists.
Was she in like
That's
a
fucking
toddler
awesome.
fight
Yeah.
club?
God damn it.
I think she just felt out a lot.
But
But it was still a really cool nickname.
It's such a better nickname than the reason behind it. Fuck. Oh my god. Okay, this chapter is called Sleeping Beauty. Gaia wasn't afraid. Gaia was
Obviously.
never afraid. Yeah, I know.
Wait,
hang on a second. The name of the book, though. But she felt the abstract terror of a world without Sam, without the idea or possibility of Sam, and she didn't want to live there. It felt so dark and arid that it would surely dry up all of her senses and parch her last blossom of hope. It's a lot of thematic dehumidity in that thought. It's interesting. Her rage exploded.
Sam dies. I shall never. I'm not even going to finish it.
Her rage exploded.
I shall never be wet again.
We get it, Chris!
I didn't know that's what you were going to say, but I loved it so much. That's so funny.
I'm not proud.
Oh, I am,
proud.
though. I am.
I love that you had half a second of
I really
like,
tried not
like
to.
willpower
I
to
shan't
not
say
say
this.
it. I won't say it. Yes, I will.
I won't say it. Yes!
I
but
really
I must.
tried, Bekah. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm happier you said it than if you had held it in.
We're all better because you said it. Her rage
I like when it's just the three of us. I feel like we're weirder.
We are way weirder, and we are less controlled.
I know. It's like if it's the three of us, we'll focus and we'll just get it done.
No.
We'll just read it and we'll be like on task the whole time.
No, when it's the three of us, we're just like, and then this one time in 8th grade.
We're just like, what year were you in 7th grade?
It's only when the book we're getting through is a real struggle
Yeah.
that I
Holy
feel like we just try to burn through it. But
Oh my God.
not this one.
God,
Yes.
my chest hurts. This is fun.
I'm crying. I have tears in my eyes.
Her rage exploded, less controlled, more intense than ever before. The 5 of them became an indistinguishable mass to her without human features. She took
That's how she has to see them to
Yeah.
be able to hurt them.
She took them on. She took them on as
Part
one
of the trading.
multi-limbed creature. Her adrenaline carried her, so she didn't have to think or count or predict. She took one of them out with her fist clean, just like that. Damn. Another one required a combination of kicks to finish him off. In the process, she took a sharp jab in the ribs and another... Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Burping through this amazing fight scene.
Can you not?
I'm trying not to. In the process,
Welcome to my world.
she took a sharp jab to the ribs, and another guy's fist caught her in the forehead as she tried to duck. Damn. That probably hurt his hand, though, because hardest bone on your
Bad
body.
place to punch.
She could feel the blood gathering at the wound. The red drips were a nuisance in her eyes, but she was too far gone to feel pain.
My blood is so annoying.
Flick it off. 2 of the guys bobbed in her peripheral vision. The third she had head on in her sights. She planted a kick in that vulnerable place, in his neck. I was like, Dick?
What a great read of that sentence.
The vulnerable place, the neck.
In his neck. Just as another one slammed her from the side. Another down, she registered as she tried to find her balance. Then came another slam from the side. The blood stung her eyes and tinctured her mouth with its coppery flavor. Head wounds bled too much. It was a shame. She might not have enough time. 2 weaving heads. 8 thrashing limbs. 1 crazy summer. No. It was an ugly but simpler creature that remained. Her gaze swept over Sam's still body, and she had an almost overwhelming need to go to him, to kneel over him, and make sure he was breathing.
His face.
Jesus Christ. Gaia fights the Nazis. Bam! A blow to her stomach sent her sprawling on the ground. Focus, Gaia, she urged herself. She had to focus as hard as she possibly could to get them through this. Loss of blood made her hazy and faint. Another guy came rushing toward her at an angle she could use. She caught his momentum and threw him over her head. He rolled twice. It gave her enough time to get back to her feet. But just as she did, the other one smashed her from behind and sent her back to the pavement. She raised her head. As she raised her head, she saw a pale, scared face peering from the stand of trees. She knew the face. He took a few steps forward. "Rennie, you little shit, get over here," the bigger of the guys bellowed. Rennie was frozen, except for his face, which quivered like a squirrel's. Exactly.
Wait, is Rennie like an apprentice Nazi?
No, Rennie was the kid that was friends with the old guy, but I don't remember why they were going after him.
Well, yeah, but one of the Nazis is calling for him to get over there.
You're right. Hold on. Shut up.
Yes!
Suddenly, Gaia felt her arms wrenched roughly behind her back. 2 of them were holding her. She tried to jab her way free with her elbow, but she couldn't move it. Come on, little boy. Here's your big chance, the other guy called.
Oh, no.
Gaia didn't feel like writhing to get out of their grip. It was a waste of time. The blood was leaving her head and making her feel tired. She wished she could just pass out and be done with it. Rennie, step up, man. You in or out? Rennie took another step forward. He looked terrified at the sight of Gaia, no doubt something out of a horror movie with all that blood on her face and shirt. Suddenly, Gaia saw the dull glint of steel. She thought she was imagining it at first, but even the idea was enough to clear her foggy head. Yes, it was real. She could see it clearly now. The fat-lipped guy was pushing a gun, a .38 caliber pistol, into Rennie's hand.
Oh my god.
See? Gun or knife? Gun or knife? It's the whole theme of the book.
I mean,
gun or knife?
This is the first actual mention of a gun.
Where had it come from? Why hadn't she been paying better attention? Finish her off, Rennie. Do it now. I was gonna get a drink, but, like, how can I walk away right now?
Yeah.
Hold on, I have to read ahead really, really fast.
Riveting.
Gaia's adrenaline level notched up. Her body was on full alert, but her mind had entered that dreamlike state, wondering numbly, philosophically, whether this was the end of her life. There were few physical brawls she couldn't find her way out of, but a gun changed everything. It empowered the cowardly and rendered skill, bravery, and character useless.
That's what I was trying to read. What was highlighted? That is a fucking great sentence.
That is good.
Actually,
that's good. I like
fucking
it.
kudos, Francine.
Good job, Francine.
R.I.P.
That was why Gaia, though she was trained to be an exceptional markswoman, never used one. She'd rather lose on her terms than win on those. Now the gun was in Rennie's hand, shaky, but pointing directly at her.
Wait, so is she just Brock Sampson?
Yeah.
Because Brock's like, I don't use guns. Just use knives.
I don't use guns. Alright, now the gun was in Rennie's hand, shaky, but pointing directly at her. He wasn't looking anywhere near her eyes. Oh, this was hard to take. Was little Rennie, her favorite chess whiz, really going to sink a bullet into her? It seemed like a very bad life where that would happen. If he was going to, she hoped he would get on with it because she didn't feel like sticking around much longer to watch. Rennie looked like he was going to puke. His eyes were glazing over and his skin was the color of iceberg lettuce. He came up so close she could hear his breath. She was staring down the barrel of the gun. She pulled her eyes back to Rennie's. "Look at me!" she demanded of him silently. "Look at me! Look at me!" If he was going to do this, let him do it for real. Let him know the full meaning of popping that trigger. Don't be a coward, Rennie. Look at me! At last he did. His eyes lighted on hers. He hesitated only a moment. Then he turned and ran like hell. Gaia heard the gun clattering on the pavement. "Good boy, Rennie," she told him silently as he sprinted for the streetlights. "Freaking coward," one of the guys muttered. It gave Gaia the burst she needed. She slammed her heel as hard as she could into one guy's shin. When he let her go to clutch his leg, she wrenched herself free from the other guy and... followed up with a searing blow to the side of the injured guy's head.
Then another rapid jab to his abdomen. The jabdomen. He crumpled, gasping for breath. She lunged for the gun, grabbed it from the ground. Without a pause, she hauled off and threw it. That's the second time in this chapter that they have described someone hauling off and doing something, and I love it. Because not enough books say he hauled off and did this.
We just don't say that enough as a people.
We don't. And we need to do it more. I love it.
That's what's wrong with this country. We don't say hauled off enough.
However, I don't...
Wait, isn't that from Venture Brothers?
Yeah.
I was trying to think of, like, haul off and whiz all over myself.
It looks like I hauled off and whizzed all over myself.
Venture Brothers. Okay, I was like, what is this line of dialogue in my head?
Stop saying dab. Without a pause, she hauled off and threw it. That's That's not great, though. Just throwing a gun in Central Park. She just threw a gun. 38.
Not too smart. Does that matter? I don't know.
It's the bullets are bigger. Right, Chris? Right?
Bullets are still bullets.
Bullets are still bullets, but...
Why are you asking Chris?
I don't fucking know.
Just
because I'm a white guy with a beard doesn't mean I know about guns.
But, like, there's guns in video games. I think the bigger the caliber, the bigger the bullet, so the more it'll blow you apart.
More bang,
like
more shoot.
Like a 9mm is like, a smaller bullet, but a 38 is like a Dirty Harry type shit. Like a big fucking...
Like a bigger gauge.
Like a bigger gauge, yeah.
I know.
I'm pretty sure 38 Special is a gun.
Kellogg's pistol in Fallout 4 is 44.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that.
I know you know.
I
know you know what kind of pistol Kellogg's gun is. It's just, it's a big fucking hand cannon. Everything we know about guns, everybody, is from video games.
Mainly the Fallout series.
Mainly Fallout, Resident Evil.
It was fun at first replaying this, or playing this new Fallout 4 game with automatic weapons, but I already am so sad because I can't really use Kellogg's pistol or...
Can you? I guess you probably can't make his pistol automatic.
No, you can't.
But yeah.
And you can't respec, which is so frustrating.
Just don't use Kellogg's pistol. There's a million other good guns to get.
It's not just his gun. It's just the concept of it just wastes so much ammo. It doesn't matter. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, but if you get the Scrounger perk, you'll get more ammo. That's what you taught me.
I need to get more of that perk.
Get more of that perk. Welcome back to Fallout Talk.
We should have a Fallout podcast. I
Talk
could have
out.
a lot to say.
Talk Out 4. It's our podcast about... No, it's bad. Talk Out.
No, I don't like it.
Yeah.
We can do better. We'll think.
Talk out through the Fallout.
All right, it was a fucking first draft.
Talk out through the Fallout,
like Chris.
The song.
Talk out through the Fallout. Oh, that's amazing.
I would love to talk about video. Can we just bring the This Is 65 podcast back when we would talk about video games? Can we go full circle and just do that again?
We should just... Yeah, we should have... Okay, don't give me more things to do. But I do love talking about video games.
Me too. I have no one to talk about except for literally the two of you.
Yeah. Doing, casting dreams with Patrick has been... And all we talk about is Dreamcast. Oh, well, we talk about Dreamcast, but
I'm glad you have that, but me and Chris don't have that.
I know.
Hey, we talked about it on Saturday.
I know. I told John, Chris showed up and all we did was talk about Avowed.
I just ignored everyone else.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. That's awesome. Okay, what, sorry.
I'm in the fourth location, Chris. I didn't even know there were 4. But there's 4.
Dwarves are?
Yes.
Shut up! I haven't been there yet. I need to play more about. PSA, going straight from a rum and pineapple to Scotch neat is bad.
Oh, no.
For your tongue.
Oh.
The tasters.
Yeah. I mean, Scotch is bad for my tasters always.
I love Scotch, but that was going from beer to Scotch is better than going from little island treat to Scotch. I don't know.
I only drink Scotch if there's an open flame.
Just like a man would do.
Damn, Chris. Yeah. She threw the gun. It traced a high arc through the sky. She didn't have time to watch where it landed. Great. She faced the last one now.
Not my problem, she said as she hucked a gun.
Haven't you seen Die Hard 3? Some kid could find it. She faced the last one now. He was familiar to her from another time. But her head was...
2 days ago?
I know. From a past life.
They get rocked in the head a lot.
Yeah. I feel like they've all gotten rocked in the head a lot in this chapter. But her head was too blurry to cobble together a memory. His lips were swollen and his jacket was speckled with blood, probably hers. Gray spots grew and multiplied, clouding her vision. She heard the punch to her shoulder before she felt it. She stepped back and shook her head in the hope of clearing it. She came forward and cracked her fist across his nose. His fist landed hard on her cheekbone. She reeled back, losing her footing, almost falling directly onto Sam. On your feet, girl, she begged herself. She doesn't do enough actual talking when she's being Batman, so yeah.
Well, she's just pure muscle memory.
Nor does Batman, really.
That's true. That's true. But then she heard something. It was faint, but approaching fast and sounded to her more beautiful than a Mozart symphony or that other violin concerto that we talked about last episode.
I assumed I wrote that down, but apparently I didn't.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember the name, but I do remember going down a...
Was that not?
That was last episode. Because it was, that was...
I thought I wrote it down because it was so dramatic, but I didn't read it to myself. That's crazy that I didn't write that down. The saddest song in the world or whatever
the most beautiful, sad song in the world? Yeah. The guy heard it too. He stopped, listened. He gave her a last look before he ran. Was it sirens? Bless you, Rennie, she thought as she fell back against Sam, listening to the siren coming near. Called it. She turned as gingerly as she could. She put her hand on Sam's chest. He was breathing. He definitely was breathing. She put her hand gently on his cheek, then skimmed her fingers over his battered eye.
Face waterfall?
Face waterfall. She smoothed his hair back from his beautiful forehead. She hadn't touched another human being like this in almost 5 years. What?
Who did she caress
touch 5 years ago?
I feel like that's got to be an awkward story. Yeah.
She's 17.
Can't have been a good thing.
Yeah, like when she was 12, who did she touch?
Her mom, maybe, before she was murdered?
Maybe her mom. Transfixed, she ran her trembling hand from the cool softness of his upper cheek to the masculine stubble of his chin. His perfect skin was broken in several places. What had she done to him? Nothing, lady. It was the Nazis. She almost...
She did tackle the shit out of him.
Yeah. And almost more disturbing, what had he done to her?
What had he?
He stirred her somewhere else.
I feel like that was the climax of the book.
I know. I always thought that was the end of a chapter, but it's not.
I feel like we're not going to have enough book to record an episode with Walker.
We're getting close. I mean, we're getting close, or we could call it now. Because that's what I get worried about is not having enough left for the last portion.
What percentage are we
We're
now?
at 84%.
Okay.
Which is 1% less, and
Sorry.
We're at location 1394 when what I put was 1416.
Okay. I say, Bekah, take us home, read this, the end of this chapter, end of this, and then...
Can we get John right now to finish the book?
Yeah.
Because this is fun. Let's call him.
Yeah.
Tears.
No, I like that idea.
We could try.
All right, I'll text John.
Because I feel like
chances
all
of it
we're going to have
happening are
left
so
is
low.
fucking epilogue. And I don't want to bring him on to record just for an epilogue. Because we did that before once.
I know. That's why I don't want to finish it too soon. But
terrible.
Also, it's so fun to read. I don't want to stop reading it. Tears spilled from her eyes and mixed with the blood drying on her face. A drop of the pink moisture landed on his forehead. Disgusting. Wait. Grosser.
Ew.
Her bloody tears are dripping on his face.
Pink. Pink.
It now became a
the pink
romance
moisture.
song.
That's awful.
Like, the chaotic part of me wants to highlight disgusting shit, just in case it shows up for other people. Like, one person highlighted pink moisture.
Just like the next time a 13-year-old girl buys his book and reads it and she's like, ew, who liked that part?
I'm doing it. You can't stop me. I'm crazy.
Highlight it in pink.
Oh, fuck. Shit.
Can you?
Yes.
I just saw color options.
Oh my God, yes. Hold on. Guys, she's doing it.
Hold on.
She's doing it.
I'm doing a really bad job of it. Oh, hell yeah.
Are you taking a picture of it?
Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, what a good time.
Oh.
We had fun.
It blended with the beads of sweat on his brow. Disgusting. She felt like she was entering a trance as she lowered her face toward his.
Are you going to kiss him?
She touched her lips against his.
Stop it.
With exquisite gentleness.
Stop it.
Slowly deepening the kiss.
Oh, stop it.
As she surrendered her heart.
And he surrendered nothing because he's unconscious.
Yes.
That's why this.
He surrendered everything. Technically.
That's why this chapter is called Sleeping Beauty. I just realized.
Oh fuck!
Gross.
God.
Oh no.
Gross.
She heard voices coming near. She lifted her head. Sam's eyes fluttered open and then closed again. She could die now. Are you okay?
Don't say things like that when I'm drinking.
She laid her head on his chest and melted away. Now we have an email or something.
What?
2L.
I thought it said that in the book.
It might as well have.
I know.
2L from ELJ. Date October 2nd. File 776244. Subject Gaia Moore. Last seen Washington Square Park, New York. City. Sorry, I didn't know it was a line break. 8:37 p.m. Update. Subject hospitalized after a prolonged fight with several gang members and a man identified as Sam Moon, age 20, sophomore at NYU.
His last name was Moon.
Moon.
My name's
Sam
Sam
Moon.
My name's Sam Moon.
Samuel
MOON.
Moon.
3 gang members arrested at the scene. 2 others fled. Do you think it was the 3 older guys arrested and the 2 younger guys ran? It's just that it broke it up to
Yeah.
3. Old
Sam
man
Moon's
no.
a good name for a werewolf.
Sam Moon. It's a great name for a werewolf.
It is.
In this email still,
Yes.
old man known as Zoloff was taken to the hospital and treated for a surface wound to the face. Subject received surface wound to the head, resulting in considerable loss of blood, multiple contusions, expected discharge October 3rd. 2 ELJ from L, date October 2nd. File, subject, same subject. Unacceptable. Subject was not to be injured under any circumstances. Contact me immediately for new placement.
Ba, 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 ba. I just realized this whole time when they kept talking about the park, I kept thinking they were talking about Central Park. Mm-hmm. But you just said Washington Square Park.
That's where she's been for most of the book.
Well, yeah, that's where like the chess shit is. So I
Yeah.
just looked it up because I was like, wait, where is that? It's actually it's basically like Lower Manhattan. It's like sandwiched right between Greenwich and East Village. So that little green square I'm showing Bekah right now is Washington Square Park, and then that's Central. I just I had no idea that it was like a separate tiny little park. I just thought they were in Central Park the whole time.
I knew it wasn't Central Park, but I didn't know where it was.
Oh, and there's
But
Washington. There's a
it's
fountain.
like near Midtown, right? I mean,
Yes. Yeah, it's a little south of like Midtown and Chelsea.
yeah. That's the only part of New York I know, other than Astoria, is Midtown.
Yeah.
'Cause that's where Sleep
Because
No
that's
More
where Sleep No More is.
was.
R.I.P. Holy shit. This is a good episode.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
I
all we
liked
got
it.
left is falling action.
Falling action? I don't
Yeah.
know. I really don't I don't know. I truly don't know what okay, well, let's make some predictions. In the last episode, Heather will wake up. I bet.
Well, I mean, they said she was going to make a full recovery, so I kind of already assumed she
she's
was
probably
awake
awake.
and functional.
I bet she'll come back though. I bet like
Yeah.
she and Gaia
We'll
will
get a
kind of like
scene with
make
her.
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be rapid cuts
Rapid cuts.
of the aftermath.
Okay.
And then everyone's going to be like, oh my gosh, Gaia fought all those Nazis. Maybe she's not so bad after all.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like, and that's
She
how I
saves-
became popular.
She saves Sam. She
It's
saves
kind of
Zoloff.
crazy that she had a secret identity that's basically busted in the first book.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, yeah,
It's
yeah.
the first book in a long series, so nothing's going to happen.
Well, Sam didn't see her beat up all the Nazis.
Well, Sam, I guess they could be like, wow, she really got lucky, and those Nazis accidentally all punched each other in the face and throat.
Or the school's all going to think that Sam beat up all the Nazis and saved her.
I bet
fucked up.
she would be
That
like,
kind of a
yeah.
guy.
She would be like, yes, that's what happened because she doesn't want anyone to know her secret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No one can do that. I'm fearless.
I bet we'll get another scene with the redhead and Marco. Was that his name? I really
Yeah.
thought he was going to be a bigger part of this book, and
Yeah.
he's barely been in it.
Well, we don't know if he was one of those guys.
That's what I was thinking. I feel
Oh.
like he must have been one of these
Oh, maybe he was
Nazis,
Yeah.
but it's weird that they didn't mention it.
I hope that this book ends with with an Avengers tag of like someone approaching Gaia and being like, I'm Sam
want you to
Jackson.
join the Fearless Initiative.
Nick Fury.
I'm
He
Sam
said- wait.
Jackson.
Nick Fearless.
I could Nick Fearless. Chris, did you just say the Fearless Initiative?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what I was thinking. I want you to join our elite team of fearless CIA operatives or whatever. I don't know. That's not going to happen.
Oh my gosh, did you guys see the announcement that essentially the next Avengers movie is going to be an X-Men movie?
Yeah, I saw that.
I didn't. But
That's pretty cool.
They announced like a giant like cast list, and it's just 1 million people, including a bunch of X-Men from like the X-Men movies. And at this point, I'm like,
which X-Men movies?
all of them.
The
Like,
first 3.
no, the first the fucking.
Alan Cummings coming back as Nightcrawler.
That's great. I love him, but like, Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen are 1 billion years old. How can they still
But
be
they're
X-Men?
great. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but they're so old. I'm not being ageist. I'm just saying, like, well, Patrick Stewart's in a wheelchair in the movie, you know, in the
Yeah.
But like Ian McKellen,
Yeah,
Ian
and
McKellen
all
was
he
like,
has to do is this.
yeah, Ian McKellen was like, I mean, I love Ian McKellen, and God bless him. He's like, I'm gonna keep acting until I drop dead, which he almost did on like fucking Broadway kind of recently.
Jesus.
He literally was like stage acting and slipped and like fell off the stage because he's like 80 something. I don't remember.
I think he's like 180 something.
And he's like, I'll still do Gandalf. You want me to do Gandalf? I'll do Gandalf. I'll do Magneto. I'll never fucking stop. Yeah, I don't know. I hope it's good.
I haven't seen anything about it.
I'm just glad it starts filming like next month.
Mm-hmm.
Because like they announced this cast, and if they had said like, "If we start filming next year," I'd have been
Yeah.
like, "No, they're gonna die."
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly. Oh, boy. Well, what did you guys think of this episode of Fearless?
I loved it.
Me too.
Yeah, it was great.
This is wonderful.
And yeah, I do think we are a little bit more unhinged when there isn't a fourth person.
We really are. This is great.
We're not on company behavior.
It's pure.
Because
It's pure uncut below grade level.
If anyone wanted to know what it's like when just me, John, and Bekah hang out, it is very much like an episode of Below Grade Level with no guest.
Exactly.
It's like Chris has said many times when we hang out, no one should have this much fun.
It's true. It is. We just do this and sometimes sing too.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're also just
Man,
singing.
I want to do
It's great.
karaoke.
Yeah.
Chris, come over. Let's all call out of work tomorrow.
Ah,
I do too. Let's call out. Except Jonathan.
I don't,
doesn't have to call
suckers.
out.
I'm unemployed. I don't know what's going on with my situation. Who fucking knows?
I don't
Well-
know. I feel like phrasing it that way, like unemployed,
Yeah.
is the most accurate way to
Yeah.
describe it.
It basically is. Yeah, I have Schrodinger's job right now.
Without going into further detail, Jonathan, what do you have to plug?
Oh, it's such a good question, Chris. You can follow Cactus Rodeo, which is our overarching kind of umbrella where you can read all my comics and listen to all of our podcasts and watch all of our little things that we make that we haven't made in a long time, but they're still there. You can follow Cactus Rodeo on Facebook and obviously cactusrodeo.com. And you can check out cactusrodeo.com/podcast, or you can just subscribe to this podcast wherever you find podcasts. Follow this podcast, Below Grade Level, on Instagram and TikTok. And Chris, is there another podcast that we do that you want to tell people about?
There is another podcast that we do, Jonathan, and I would love to tell people about it.
Please
It's
do.
called The Sketchy Show, where we improvise sketches, and it gets edited into something that makes sense. Because while we're recording, it most certainly does not. And it becomes something magical, and it's called The Sketchy Show. It's wherever you get your podcasts. It's me, Jonathan Eaton, who's on this show, and John Walker, who is sometimes on this show, and we have a lot of fun there.
Yeah, if you want to hear things like 3 jack-o'-lantern judges trying to judge a jack-o'-lantern carving contest and having an existential crisis, or a paranormal investigator named Dick Albuquerque investigate a werewolf, or the...
That was a good one.
Thank you. Or the Scarisburg Evening News, the evening news in a town straight out of Goosebumps.
Like
listen-
Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Oh, I never even thought of that, but yeah,
Jesus
exactly,
Christ.
like Harrisburg, but it's Scarisburg. Did I play that for you? I gotta play that
I
for you.
don't know.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
just thought of Harrisburg when you said it.
It's a good one.
If you like all of
Okay.
that and the concept of bug fighters and more, listen to The Sketchy Show, also wherever you find podcasts. And the last thing I'll plug is also the other show that we do, that I do, Casting Dreams. These two guys haven't been on it yet.
Yeah,
You
thanks.
will.
Should I invite?
And that is a podcast that I do with my friend Patrick Anderson, and it is all about the Sega Dreamcast. And we just ended our first season with 10 episodes, and we're going to come back probably later this year for another season of 10 more games that we're going to talk about. And that's been a gigantic blast. So if you like retro gaming and you like Dreamcast shit, and just gaming in general, you should listen to that because it's very nerdy and in-depth. It's very nerdy. That's it. Tune in next time to find out what happens in the thrilling conclusion of Fearless by Francine Pascal. I can't wait to find out what happens. And we love you. Bye.
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 Below Grade Level is a Cactus Radio production. You can contact us at podcast@cactusrodeo.com. Subscribe and follow on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify, and follow Cactus Rodeo on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more entertainment and updates.